There we are, the game started. A brand new best of 5, starting at the 0-0 point. In the top right side, the Dragon, the Phoenix, the Gamer, the Blue Protoss, Hero. On the other side of the battlefield resides a red Terran player fighting for the Shopify Rebels. It is Byun. Who won the last final? Oh shoot, now you're asking me something. I'm not even sure what the last one was. To be fair. Montium? Nice contribution on Match Arena. Let me take a look at it. Oh yeah, there we go. $100. When was this? My goodness. Very much appreciated, my man. Very much appreciated. That is quite something. That was just now, actually. Fantastic. Very generous. I'm sure the players will appreciate that. Especially the one who wins. Right here. Whether it be Byun, whether it be Hero. Today is the 50th day of Hero not losing in PvZ. Should we celebrate it or wait for 100 days? Really? Is it that much now? Or is that just a statistic you pull up? You just made up your own statistic. I do that sometimes, just just to see what happens. See if it takes on a whole life of its own. Alright, what do you guys think? Widow Mines? Hellions? It's got a lot of minerals, probably Hellions, right? As well as the starports being built across the map. Very strong opener. Very strong opener. One that has slain many a Protoss in the past. Protoss in the past. Stargate for Hero could be good if he goes for the Phoenix. Goes for the Oracle instead. Could still be good. The aggressive nature of this opening could indicate quite a lack of anti-air defenses, of course, for Byun in his own base. But it probably will indicate that these Hellions are going to be pretty effective. Unless if we have some monstrous micro coming out of Hero here. That up against Byun is a mighty ask. Right, there it goes. Oracle coming in. What do we got? 3 Marines in total. What do we got over here? Well, the Stalkers. Stalkers coming in as well. Probes starting to line up. 4 Hellions starting to do quite a bit of damage. The Oracle actually being pulled backwards. He realizes he needs to do something against this, but that is going to be too little too late. That Oracle is going to get here, and the Stalkers will have dealt with the situation, meaning that Hero kind of losing his own opportunity to do quite a bit of damage across the map here. In favor for, well, perhaps securing this a little bit quicker than he would have otherwise. And even that, the Oracle doesn't do anything here. At least he didn't have to manage his attention in 2 locations, right? That is a valuable argument as well to make. If you let those Hellions go loose even more so, and you don't try to micro this area here with your Stalkers as much, then it's most likely just gonna be so much worse. Then again, 16 probes, could it be that much worse? Could it be that much worse? We've seen Hero already versus Ragnarok in a couple of tight situations. So we know what he needs to do. He needs to get himself a War Prism. And he needs to get himself a Disruptor. And then somehow win the game with that. 16 probes is one fully saturated mineral line. Yeah, that's right. It was an entire mineral line. Oh. Byun, it is a commitment from Byun as well, of course, with this factory starport. This early on, you do delay your own economy as well, quite a bit. But, I mean, look at the economy. Being tied up in workers as a Terran versus a Protoss, it's just always good. It's always great. Especially this early on in the game. It is quite ridiculous how much more money you're going to get as a Terran now, thanks to the mules. Starting off with a push as well, fully in sight of Hero. Decides to try and poke out a little bit here. Doesn't quite have Blink yet, which would be a fantastic tool to have, as this army is getting closer and closer. Stimpack finished up. Blink still 10 seconds away. Now the siege tanks are already sieged up. He'll just sit backwards, bide his time, and that's most likely the best thing he can do here. Trying to deal with the Terran army preemptively could be a much nastier situation. Sending up the Stalkers to intercept reinforcements. The reinforcements coming in, though, actually a little bit more beefy than he may be ready for. Does decide to go for this attack, but very desynchronized. Still does manage to handle it all right. Does he still have enough now for dealing with the reinforcements? Byun actually deciding to head on back to his own base, waiting for the medevacs. And Hero holds. Hero holds. He's got himself 3 base now. 3rd base for Byun. Not yet ready. Only just recently starting up that production. Drawing up those construction plans. Ooh. Hero, how is he so good with just knowing what to do with his units? Byun's just like, you know what? Yeah, never mind. Never mind. This is a wild card, isn't it? He's going to be aware that, you know what, there's 2 medevacs and a bunch of units missing of the army that I just saw moving here. So he's alright. Never mind. Let's forget about that. Let's try something else. Bulk up together once again. Perhaps has a bit of an opportunity here to still make some waves. Does have 66 army supply versus 34. Psionic Storm is available though. With about, yeah, he should have about 3 of them if Byun keeps moving forwards from this point onwards. Might be nearing up even more so. Yeah, he's gonna have 4 of them. Actually, no, there's another High Templar there. He's gonna have 6 of them. No, 5. 5. Sorry, that's the... Counting. Jeez. No, 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 wait. Look at that. There is a 6th. I knew it. My guts was telling me it was... Oh, that's a good storm. It's a lovely storm. May want to wait for the ghost now as well. Byun backing up once again. I still like Byun's position overall. It's feeling a little bit locked up on his own side with his economy. But he's not taking bad fights, right? He's being aggressive, he's being assertive with his units, he's keeping the Protoss honest on his side of the map. He's grabbing himself the next tier of tech with those ghosts, and the ghosts should do quite well against the army composition of Hero. Up until he has got himself those Colossi and or Disruptors. Could start swinging into Hero's favor then again. Look at that, Byun already making an air presence as well. Starting up Vikings. Cancellation on this base. Don't think Byun knows about the top left side. He does not. Not quite yet. Feels like an area he may have tried to push with a couple of units if he had known before that this was becoming an issue here. Now there is quite a bit of static defenses set up right there with a couple of High Templar and I believe Zealots as well. Yep. Don't want to drop into this, it looks like. One medevac may think about it. Let's hope Byun does a scan before he commits. Really enjoying the overall presence of the vision for Hero here on the map. Having a good idea about the army movements of Byun. And there we go, getting himself a nice feedback with a storm, killing off one of the ghosts. Yeah, no more EMP. There's just no more EMP. He just handled EMP entirely. Just because he saw the army moving, and then he sent in his Warpers with the High Templar, gets a couple of feedbacks, and then it's just alright. You don't have your most powerful tool anymore. Hero's good. Hero is really good at this game. Sounds like I may have just realized. I've realized before, but man, to the extent of which it is, it is rather silly right now. Will this be the end of Byun? I think it will be. I think it will be. Hero just seemingly having a bit more overall in the economy game, and well played. Well played. Gets himself game number 1. The gateway style, man. Yeah, it is. Whew. It's really cool. We just saw him play against Ragnarok as well in the best of 5, and it was beautiful. He was supposed to die 2 times, and he just wins. He just wins. He just does it anyway. He's just like, no. Don't worry about it. I'll just micro a little bit here. I'll keep him busy a little bit over here. And then voila. Now we have 6 disruptors as well as enough gateway forces to get those disruptors to connect. And you're just looking at it. Well, damn. Can anyone stop this guy? Is there anything anyone can still do? Command Center on the high ground, playing it safe, going for a Reaper, wants to be aware of what his opponent is up to. You don't have the floating supply depots or pylons after all in these 2 races, and well, gonna have to send something across the map. Stargates. Fun start. Tap ready at the back door. The front door is a bit open, but the Reaper decides not to go for that. Oh, the Adept leaves his post. The Reaper can't believe his luck. Still checking. Still certain he's about to be shot by someone as he gets up on top of the cliff's edge, but it's just not happening. So he decides to go in. Does he get himself killed? Yes, he does. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. That is... Nope. There's the 6 HP Reaper. It's the Wolverine Reaper once again. Tapped on the other side of the map as well. Noticing a lack of that command center. Does witness it right here though. Nice bit of verification. Does cost him its life, but adds something. Straight up into Phoenix. By the way, do you remember that game? The previous game opened up with 16 probe kills. 16 probe kills by the first Hellions. I forgot about that entirely. How did he win that? How did he win that? There's two people in chat having a quarrel. It's funny. Alright guys, settle down, settle down. I don't think it's about anything either. Right, couple of Phoenix. They did get themselves a Reaper, so that's nice. That might be all they get, if the Marines have anything to say about it. He is really pushing out with those Marines. Could open up the door overall for the Phoenix to do some harassment. Oh, never mind, there's two Cyclones here. So that is pretty well defended. Stimpack about to finish up. This feels like one of those Wings of Liberty games where there's a bunch of Marines and you're wondering, okay, is he gonna get the force fields or is he not gonna get the force fields? It's a good scan. There's two ramps to go up to, but that is too much for Byun to tango with right now. So it's to back up for at least a moment. No signs of a third base just quite yet for him. But he does decide to move further back overall. Get everything back to the other side. The Phoenix are, after all, doing quite a bit of harassment. The Cyclone's no longer there, so this is going to be a bit of a struggle here. 6 SCVs. A reasonable chunk of worker damage. Unless if you do that onto Hero, apparently he is fine, even if you kill 16 of them. But for all the non-Godsman gamer boys in the pro scene, right? I usually tend to struggle when they lose a good chunk of workers. There is a mod. How about just timing both of them out for a little bit? Just focus on the game, guys. Jeez, please. Calm down. Alright, fights in the main base. A big drop happening there. Looks like the Phoenix are dealing with it fairly okay. 4 probes only in total getting destroyed. The main front attack doesn't get that much done either. Oh my. Have you ever seen a better storm than that? That was a classic storm. People often say like, oh, that was a good storm, but that was a really good storm. That killed almost everything. Oh. Did he mean to do that? Did he mean to set off those widow mines? Does it matter? Does anything matter what this man does? Because he will just win anyway. That's what I feel like right now. It's got such a raggedy patch of units. It feels like the Terran should just be trying to kill off the High Templar here, but for some reason the Terran is the one still making the retreat. Now Zealots appear, and Archon is morphing. Hero should be backing up, right? He should be backing up? There's no War Prism here, after all, which is his secret weapon. Underneath that long trench coat, he always carries with him a War Prism. There it is. It's being created. It's on its way. Same for a Ghost Academy. Still going to be a while before that is available. We've seen Byun going for the Ghost quite a bit earlier recently. Heroes macro is scary. It is. It truly is. Wow, this is a peculiar situation. A big army for the Terran coming in through the main door. Those storms, oh, they are nice. A lot of damage on those bio boys, and now the Zealots just come rushing in, tearing down the last standing Terran units. As GG will have to be called once again. A 2-base Terran, not enough to be the full base hero. That probe. The probe expecting the build time of a Reaper to be taking place, but instead there was a Marine. Surprise, surprise. A little bit earlier done, so yeah. Getting his probe caught. Nothing game ending, of course, but it's a little bit in the dark for a little while. Did he see the command center come down? No, he didn't. But I guess he saw the SCV going that way a little bit. You can kind of infer, but you are heavily relying on this adept right now to kind of figure out what is happening in this game. Important to note is that there's nothing too tremendously important to scout right now this instance, so he still has got himself a bit of time. Sees the SCV going that way, cancels the shade. Didn't get an eyeball on the command center being built, but I mean, with the Marines being over here, you kind of anticipate that being the case. More SCVs coming in, so yeah, you should realize that is what the Terran has. Making himself straight up some Phoenix. Still trying to get into the main base. Wants to figure out what the production facilities are of Byun. It is the triple barracks play after all. Doesn't see that many more Marines just quite yet, but still seeing that barracks on the reactor. So whatever is coming his way, it's going to involve quite a couple of Marines as well. He's just not entirely certain about the amount of Marines. Getting a better glimpse at it now. Keeping the Adepts alive, that is quite fortunate for him as well. As the Phoenix, ready to do some harassments. It's only 2 of them, but there is a nice verification. It is indeed the triple Rex. Prioritizing SCVs overall. Now even picking up some Marines. Yeah, I think killing the Marines is a good call as well. Maybe even the better one. Because you're banking on trying to get a bit of momentum going here, right? Byun seeing no third base quite yet available for a hero. A slower pace than normal. Now waiting for that combat shield and stim pack. And well, I was describing the Wings of Liberty before. This is what it was. Are the Marines gonna get up that ramp? I'm not even sure if Byun is gonna try that. To be fair, it's very unlikely to succeed. Just a wild stim and hoping your opponent doesn't notice. It's only them being on 2 base. It's not something a lot of pros do anymore. Gets the Phoenix out. Still no third bases from either of these players. Trying to add the starport factory into the play here for Byun, but Byun is keeping Hero on 2 base as well because of his marine presence. So Hero perhaps not entirely getting to play his own playstyle, which could help out Byun quite a bit. How much of a god can Hero be after all? Oh, Raiden, thank you for the sub with the Prime. Very much appreciated. That's a big bowl of bio. That is a tremendous amount of bio. Only 1 Colossus available, but there's sentries there as well. So with some good force fields, you should be able to carve this army up into bits. Just seeing the 3 sentries with full energy. As long as you're not in this open field, right? You want to avoid that. This is a bit better. If he manages to get the fight going on a ramp, that would be even better. But he wants to get that 3rd base secured, so he's going to try to keep himself in this location right here. Does have the 2nd Colossus now as well. Spreading out. I think Hero realized that were the medevacs missing, so he's starting to look around, trying to figure out where they went exactly. We know they're coming in through the top. Not much just quite yet to destroy in the 3rd base. If the medevacs fly onwards towards the natural, the army of Hero is there in a fairly good position. If the medevac tries to go through the bottom, the Phoenix will be there. So, yeah, any place where Byun might be able to hit right now with this squadron of medevacs, it's gonna be handled quite comfortably, I imagine. Jump. Oh. How do they survive? Both medevacs. All the Phoenix as well. Right, army of Hero now a bit further outwards towards the 3rd base as those 2 medevacs started rushing towards the natural base, forcing a response out of the main army. And now there's the rest of the bio forces of Byun starting to bum rush the 3rd base. The drop continues onwards into the main. The Phoenix are on top of it. The 3rd base could be tried to target down here. Does he have the time? Does he want to commit the units? Trying to just back off slowly and casually. Only 5 worker kills overall. I'm not entirely certain that was worth it. In fact, I don't think that was worth it at all. Good amount of Marines going down, and Marauder there as well. Only getting, what, I'm not even sure. What was it? 2, 3 probes? Right. Friendly reminder, no thinks about the balance, please. No complaining about balance. Just ruins the vibe. Alright, continuing on. It's funny how... Oh, alright. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Continuing onwards. Focus on the game, Kozan. Here we go. Disruptors. Disruptors in the mix. Ghost coming in. Endgame attack being unlocked. Would love to see some Liberators entering in the battlefield as well. The grandiose Liberators. Truly, I feel like it's a unit you just can't go without as a Terran player when you're up against Protoss. Up until the point where you're potentially up against just mainly carriers or something like that, right? You can do without, but in most cases. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, kill the High Templar! Doesn't get it. Doesn't even get a sentry or anything, does he? Just shield battery energy. That's all he gets. Oh, that's rough. You're so on top of this, man. It is crazy. Just absolutely everywhere. So aware. What's his vision like? Just got a lot. Oh, wait, sorry, that was a bit of a quick camera movement. Just a big line of units. They're all coming towards the Terran base right now, though. The whole gang of Protoss. Phoenix scouting ahead, figuring out where the army position is of Byun. Sees that they are a little bit close to the third base. Hero moves further forwards. Decides his position. Is that the place you would want to fight? Where would he want to? I would rather fight up here. Or be up there and then try to have the Terran come into me. Decides against it. Goes back. After all, he is starting up carrier production right now. 2 carriers in production. That's a fair chunk of supply that you won't have available. Let's look at the unit count. 3 Vikings, up to 5 now. 9 Ghost, 21 Marauders. They are still going to be quite valuable up until the moments where we have more and more carriers slowly being rotated into the unit mix. Look at these High Templar just going to town. Getting the feedbacks, getting the storms. Big clump of zealots. Why not? You know, you need to free up some supply here for more carriers. As those carriers are finishing up, look at that. These zealots are now dying. A tiny thing, but, you know, a thing that a lot of us lesser StarCraft players would do wrong. Disruptors, carriers, the ultimate combination of units. Everything you need. A lot of damage and even more damage. Alright. Byun's starting to step on the gas here a little bit. Armies are quite close together. It's going to come down to who's going to be better at the spellcasting here, it feels like. So far, Hero is running circles around the Ghost of Byun. Every single one of those ghosts getting feedbacked. Once again, not a single EMP landing quite on the important bits of the Protoss army. There we go, a desperate attempt. Just a long shot. This gold base will be tortured a bit as well. Base count very similar. It really is a battle of control here. Let's see if these feedbacks... Oh, EMP does land. Bit more difficult to feed back those ghosts once they are clumped up together with the rest of those other units there, as well as the medevacs kind of on top of them. It's quite difficult to land those abilities to EMP. A bit easier to do in that sense, isn't it? Quite a bit easier to do. We all would love to have another game between these two players. They're playing so carefully now as well. There you go, more EMP, or sorry, more feet. It's crazy, it's just crazy. It's like he has a guy controlling each and every one of his High Templar, right? He's playing some sort of an Archon mode and he has like 8 guys just controlling all of his 8 High Templar. That's what's happening here. Okay. 17 Vikings up against the 6 carriers, 2 Tempest. Only 4 High Templar available here. That could be a point of contention. Disruptors actually get jumped on as they try to get a bit lucky with their shooting gallery. Decides to rid himself of those Disruptors. They come to... well, dislike that decision later on in the game here. So there is still quite a ground presence available for Byun. Then again, Archons probably would take priority right now with the amount of Vikings that are starting to be available for Byun as well. Archons, or at least High Templar, right? 7 High Templar being warped in. More and more Tempest as well. Just a massive battle of attrition will be taking place here. As first Byun chases Hero back across the map, and now Hero chasing Byun back across the map. Ooh, nice storm. There's going to be a lot of repair that has to be done here for the Vikings. There is a good clump of SCVs underneath those Vikings. Some auto repair, it looks like. They are going to get stormed though. So a lot of them now gone. Oh, he gets one carrier. How do you play this for... There are missile turrets everywhere. There's a flock of Vikings that pokes at you. But then there's a flock of Tempest as well. It's like one of those MMA fights or boxing fights where both of them not entirely certain they want to... or they haven't quite found a way to approach their opponent just yet. Because both of them have armies that are a bit of poking armies, right? The Disruptor and the Tempest, and then the Vikings and such, right? You do want to obtain value over time, but since both of them have poking armies, it's very difficult to poke. To actually poke into something. Might come down to who manages to wrestle control over the two middle map bases here. On the north side and the south side. So far no attempts have been made, as the pocket bases near the main are still available as well for both players. They are being taken right now. Probably Byun gonna mine it out a little bit quicker than Hero. Ooh, careful. Well, that's a reasonable EMP. Might want to try to poke in again with those Vikings. See if he can snipe down that one carrier here. Oh, some more EMPs landing pretty nicely. It's getting more and more difficult to actually feed back all of the ghosts, since there's like 10 of them now. Holding my breath as we see them getting closer and closer to one another. Oh, we're going to have some sort of a point of contention. Another big part of this battle now is going to be what kind of production facilities are available for these two players. How many gateways? 11 gateways, 5 stargates overall. Barracks we're on 8 and 6 starports. 6 starports in total. That's how important the air battle is right now for Byun. Even getting the afterburners for a rapid reignition system. It's called now. Oh, I'm not even certain anymore what it does. That's how long it's been since we've seen that upgrade. Moving in forwards. Hero. Does he want to take out a base? Or does he just want to take out a couple of these missile turrets? 6 SCVs. Not the worst thing to lose at this point in time either, as we're on 10 orbital command centers. Yeah, you can afford to lose a couple of those SCVs right now. Alright, gets another carrier killed off. Looking sharp. Going in again. Vikings getting rather low though, has to be careful. One good storm might spell doom and misery there for the air army. I like these liberator numbers as well. Like, there's about 6 of them, 4 more coming up. Setting up shop all over these missile turrets right now. Slowly marching his way forward. And there's the storm. We just need one more storm. There's no storm available. There's no storm available anymore. That is going to be the end of the Tempest. But the ground army for the hero seems... Yeah, that is struggling. That is just absolutely struggling. It looked okay, but he's moving backwards. And he's moving backwards. Oh, that disrupts. Oh, my God. Oh, that was massive. That was massive. Yeah, it felt weird, right? It felt like such a ginormous lead in army supply on the ground there for the Protoss, but you realize the amount of Liberator zones that were available in between those missile turrets right there. That was so many ghosts. That was so many ghosts that just died. This is a crazy game. Absolutely bonkers. Alright. I'm not gonna call any of this. I have no clue who's gonna win this. We got a topside base. That's a really good thing here for Hero. We'll have to maintain control over it. Hopefully not lose too much himself in the process. Definitely gone back to a lower tech tier here for both players as well, as now we have Stalkers, Archons mostly, versus the Bio Forces once again. Still 16 Vikings available together with the 10 Liberators as well, though. The air army of the Protoss seemingly disappeared. Here we go. Ooh, that is a big whopping. Colossi quite quickly get knocked out of the sky. I suppose that still applies. Disruptor shots not as massive. Hero definitely carving out a bit of territory for him to maneuver in with those disruptor shots. And now starting to add up the pressure on the top right side. That is gonna be a kill on his own base right here. A couple of disruptor shots, perhaps anticipating more army units to start coming in there. Not quite the case. He lost his own nexus on the top side map. Did add a lot more minerals there. And Gun is starting to take the bottom base. Oh. Oh. What else can you say? Really? That's all I can? Whew. Right. About 30 supply ahead now for Byun in the army. Make that 10. Quite quickly changing here. It is a pure disruptor army. Never mind. Okay, that's the rest of it. Oh, this is craziness. Come on. That's another good detonation. A couple of ghosts and a marauder. Hero will have to try and get this bottom base dealt with eventually. I don't think he's aware of it at all. The rocks are still in place as well from both sides. As, ooh, more disruptor shots. Juicy connections right there. Don't move the High Templar into Liberator zones, please. This planetary fortress, that is a good thing to target down as well if he has the opportunity. The opportunity seems a bit scarce, but oh, that is a blink in and a half. Is that gonna work? What is happening on the ground here? It's tough to see. Trying to find an angle where we are not as obscured by those Liberators. We could just wait for the Liberators to be shot out of the sky by the Starkers, though, it looks like. And that absolute fortress of Terran does get handled here in a certain degree. He gets the high ground. That's where his troubles end. He kind of had to move backwards once again to that planetary fortress. Is this the right call? Is he supposed to be this aggressive? I suppose you want to try to make use of those disruptor cooldowns as much as you have, but you got enough disruptors to just keep shooting endlessly, right? Look at how aggressive he's being with those units. Really just barges in there, and then it's a flurry of disruptor shots. Trying to target down the Liberators with the Starkers as much as possible as well. How many Liberators died so far? 15. 53 Vikings died. Oh, that is a lot. 53 Vikings. Ridiculous. Alright. Byun just still playing it slow. Now, I think this strategy might work if Byun didn't have the bottom base here, right? Okay. Okay, he's going for it. He may realize now that this base is here, which means he will have a shot to do something about it. Gold base already entirely emptied out. Gotta be careful not to squander this army now. Nor the north side base. That is a very important base for him to maintain, and this could be suddenly forfeited now just because he kind of moved his army a bit too far forwards. Too deep into enemy territory. So Byun manages to worm himself in between the base and the army. Is that a... Oh, that is a horrendous recall. That is a lot of High Templar going down there as well. The Zealots do deal with this base. No longer any mining happening right there. Disruptors. This is starting to add up. Where is the rest of the army of Byun? Is it just hero out multitasking Byun right now? Is that what is happening? Because he's running around, he's forcing Byun to reset up these units over and over again. And then as he's doing that, he's getting some shots with those disruptors in. He's getting small trade victories here and there. And it's starting to compound, right? It's starting to add up here. It's going from the top to the bottom, to the top to the bottom, and then giving Byun a lot of busy work. Very similar to his approach as against Ragnarok, how he handled his War Prism. Just kind of filling up the tabs of busy work for Byun, and then slowly but surely gaining the upper hand in trading. Or is he? Ooh, that is scary. Those Liberators, they can still tear your army apart like a... split it open like a coconut quite quickly. Jumping in. Oh, that's an aggressive blink. I'm not sure if he wanted to make that blink happen. There's so many Stalkers now going down. The Bioforce is perhaps a bit closer than he had anticipated. Byun, with that bit of victory, decides to head out with 3 medevacs filled up. He feels like he can handle the situation here. Disruptors are dealing once again with the mining that's happening on the south base, but the south base is almost empty as well. The north base, in retrospect, still fairly healthy. Unless if you're talking about the lives of the probes, they are about to die. And life is not that healthy, but the mineral fields are looking alright. Still quite a bit of life left in those. We're approaching a fully mined out situation here as well, but Byun is starting to get the upper hand. He is slowly getting ahead in that supply, in particular the army supply, which is the more important one here after all. I'm fairly certain you can do all the mining you possibly could with the amount of SCVs he has right now. Having more is actually a waste at this point. Unless if he grabs the north base at the same time as well. It's very unlikely though. Very, very unlikely. Here we are. Disruptors coming forwards. Getting rid of more SCVs. Like we said, not the worst case here for Byun. With his... How many orbitals do we have right now? 10 of them still. More than plenty. More than plenty. And chase. No Liberators here after all. Get a Marauder with the Disruptor. Oh, this could be big. That is pretty big. Good chunk of bio. He's gone to the wayside. Couple more shots like that, and this army of a hero might be able to just start poking in. Might just start rolling down the Iron Curtain that Byun has established around himself. Byun is starting to mine out a lot quicker here, right? He needs to make something happen more so than his opponent. No storms. Oh my god. Those storms are amazing. How did he land so many places at the same time? I'm zoomed out and I still couldn't see all those places. Is it enough though? He's still just running around with those disruptors. The disruptors still got a bit of work ahead of them. How many liberators are still available? 6 of them. They are a bit spread out across the map. 4 of them are available where this battle is about to happen though. SCVs, alright. Some of them go down. There's no production, guys. So it's like, oh, I need to open up the production tab. There's just no production anymore. There's just none. Okay, okay. 2 ghosts in total. How many High Templar? We have 0 High Templar. 2 Archons, 6 Disruptors. Alright, alright. A tally of the units here. Top right base, you know, you may as well. It's just a 2,000 minerals that is available there. Actually less than 2,000, but you need every bit of cash you can get your hands on right now. Northern base has been mining for a while now as well. Definitely adding in the pockets of Hero. That base will continue to mine for a little bit longer as opposed to this one right here. Army supply for Hero, in fact, now quite looking lovely. 160 overall versus 130. So Byun, I don't know where he is gonna find his next kind of victory here. But wherever it is, I feel like he should try to be doing something about that north base. And can we talk about these Tempests here? That is so cool. That is so cool. It is such a scroungy battle. Just trying to find whatever you can. Just slowly whittling your opponent down now with Tempest. That is a great choice, isn't it? That is a fantastic choice. You force the Terran to go into you as well. And since you have the Disruptors, it's not that much to worry about. And how is Byun going to be able to assemble a new fleet of Vikings at this point in the game, right? How are you going to do it? I don't think you can. He's going to mine out. He's going to mine out pretty soon. North base. Templar does get dealt with. We have more High Templar. 1 more High Templar available. Does get EMP'd. Yes, he does. Okay, 12 o'clock. Handled. But it's still a pesky situation here. This is in no way a victory whatsoever, because Byun already mined out as well. So stopping the mining of the Protoss here, I'm not sure if that is enough. Careful. Okay, just keep gaining this value with the Tempest. Look at how many Tempests we have available right now as well. This is starting to really become an issue for Byun. How will he be able to deal with this? I don't think he really has a clear answer to this problem. He needs to find a solution though. Is it going to be a base trade? Is it going to be him just running into the army? Yes, it is. And facing the threats of those Disruptors. Unfortunately, one of them enough to destroy Byun there. And that means we got another best of 5 ending with the 3-0. Hero is... he's insane. He's absolutely ridiculous right now. This is so cool to see.